tell the truth, I've lost count of the amount of sexual encounters. But at the end, when all is said and done, what really counts is what it all amounts to. Subtract the time taken away by each night and each day, minus the cheap thrills and expensive bills, and it doesn't add up to much. I'm left still counting on finding the one for me. Take away the sex, and I'd still do it for the company. So what really counts? What is it to be less young, less wild and carefree, still smiling, less naive? With all that said, I still find myself spending time in bed with women I really have no business being with. Time that would have been better spent being with my kids. But at the same time, without that, my 2 offspring wouldn't even exist. Seems every time I cease and desist, out steps another seductress on a mission to please and persist. And my addictive personality makes sex a good thing hard to resist, especially when I mostly get back only half as good as I give. I'm like, what type of bad behavior is this? Slipshoddiness, sloppiness, slovenliness. Perhaps therein lies what the problem is. You never know what you're gonna get, and it's all a little bit too hit and miss. How easily we forget, and retrospect doesn't appear to be stopping this, solving this. In my reconnaissance, I've lost sight of how many abortions I've played a part in over time. I've often contemplated if God is watching, sees it as murder, and we'll all be tried for our crimes in this life, with it forever weighing on our minds, and in the afterlife, standing before all the faces of the lives we've denied, having to explain why they were forced to die. As said, you never know what you're gonna get. Speaking of which, death is a high price to pay just to get your needs met. Dick wet, pussy wet. I often say unprotected sex with a stranger is like a game of Russian roulette. But what's stranger is how I all too often seem to forget. With each new conquest, developing a case of amnesia when it comes to that latex. I told my young teenage son to save sex. And if you don't, son, make it safe sex. Keep in mind I'm too young to be a grandparent yet. And so is your mum. Now he's the same age as I was when I started having fun. And his sister and him are only apart by 10 months. So my wise advice is like a double contradiction. When looking at my life and the things that I've done, maybe I'll be an old romantic, still believing in love. And that one day it'll come. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I jinxed it. Dismissed it well before it begun. Maybe I'm an escapee, injured, still hurting, in pain and on the run. Loaded shotgun. Nevertheless, I've just left the boudoir of yet another woman I know in my heart isn't the one. And I'm looking back at myself from the bathroom mirror like, really? Is this the greatest we can do? Chasing and impregnating women who aren't even in the faintest concentrating on you? Talking marriage and babies when you only just started dating? There's a place for people as crazy as you. I'm unimpressed. Maybe you'd be better dressed if you didn't invest yourself so much in sex the way that you do. In future, keep your clothes on. Perhaps you'll see less stress and be able to get more ahead and progress the day that you do. And yeah, you say that you do, but from where I'm looking from, lover boy, I pray that you do.